or something, dude. Yeah, it's hard to distinguish fact from fiction, but I think by asking questions we can get a little bit more clear, we can get a little bit more understanding. And I think learning, I think here's the thing, I think a lot, it has to do a lot with, I think there's different people, there's different types of people. I think I see us as kind of like energy vessels and kind of as like antennas for information and transmission of information, if that makes any sense. Some of us are, so everybody has sensors and receptors. It's just some people have a more uh, direct, I guess, relationship maybe with those senses. I mean, maybe a little bit more acute relationship with those senses. They're more in tuned, and again, they're more in tuned. Maybe there's some people who have higher intuition. What are we to, because that's the thing. Sometimes certain things from your gut. It tells you something is gonna happen, or it tells you that certain for a fact that something is the way it is. You don't have any proof as to show how it can be done or show how you've come to that conclusion. That may be, and I don't know what to categorize. That's just, to me, that's again high intuition. Maybe is that, does that have anything to do with it? Does our does our third eye have anything to do with it? Does the opening of the third eye have anything to do with it? Does everybody have access to the third eye? I think everybody has access to opening their third eye. Have I opened my third eye? I think to a certain degree I've opened up my third eye. I don't know if it's fully open because I'm continuously learning about myself and everything around me, so I don't know. I don't know everything, so obviously it can't be. Maybe it's open, but maybe that's the concept of having an open mind or an open eye, as to try to see things from an objective point of view without your own biases put on them, and try to make sense of them. And there's definitely things that we can explain just by our, just by our sensory notions of finding things out by trying different things. That's the thing. Some things are tangible and some things aren't. Some things, like matter, right? Everything's made of matter, right? But some matter we don't see it, like dark matter. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, right? There's dark matter all around us. Most of matter is dark matter. So there's things that we don't see. There's things that we cannot explain. I would never claim anything outlandish, but here's the thing that I know about myself. I know that I have an extremely high sense of intuition, and this has been with me ever since I was a kid. I don't claim to know the future. I've never claimed to be able to do any palm readings or anything like that. I'm not suggesting nothing, but I am suggesting that I am a little bit maybe more hypersensitive to myself and my environment, maybe compared to the average person. And I'm not saying that, like, it's hard to talk about these things, dude, but like I don't want to like I'm not anything special. I'm not trying to like make it sound as if I have anything over anybody, or if this is like, I think this is just like, I've always been like intuitive, and I've always been curious, and I've, you know, led my curiosity to go on its path of discovery and finding things, and I've little by little I've discovered things. And not to say that I know anything. The only thing that I know is I've reached some sort of like level of like inner peace within myself. And it's not constant. I'm a human being just like everybody else. But that's the thing. I think a lot of times these intuitions, or maybe the sixth sense or the third eye or what have you, again, I do apologize for my lack of knowledge or my way of describing things. This is just my experience, and this is just my life, and maybe some of you guys can relate. Maybe this is just mumbo jumbo to a bunch of you guys, and whatever, man, to each their own. I'm just sharing what I know, what I've come to learn, and what I hope to learn as I move along, right? I mean, I've always been interested in these topics, like remote viewing. Can we do any remote viewing? Can we do any astral projection? I think I've done a little bit of astral projection in my life. I think I've done it a few times in my sleep. I think it comes with a little bit of meditation. It can be enhanced. The way I done it, I'll just tell you literally, because I've always been interested in this stuff. I've dabbled little bit into like the Buddhist traditions, and I'm by no stretch of the imagination any expert on anything, dude. I'm just telling you like the things that I've done. But I learned how to like meditate a little bit in my life, and I think I'm pretty good at it if I want to be. And sometimes if I dedicate that time in the evening, and I don't do it too often because when I have done it a few times successfully, it takes a lot of energy and you basically don't get a good night's sleep. Astral projection to me is when I go to bed and close my eyes, but I don't fall asleep because I am in my mind going to be awake in my dream state. I try to basically stay awake even though my eyes are closed, even though I'm entering my dream realm. I try to be conscious of that. I try to remain self-conscious. And it's a weird feeling because you do feel as if your body has shut down and as if you've fallen asleep, but your mind is aware and capable of perhaps controlling your dream state to a little degree, to a certain extent. I've always been paying attention to signs and symbols. I've always been paying attention to repetitive dreams. I've always had at points in my life, I've had consistent dreams. I don't know if you guys have ever had that. At one point, I always had a feeling, or a dream rather, that I would fall off my balcony. I had that dream several times, around 14, 15 times when I was younger. I've had that dream. I've also had the same dream of running on a hill, running on this majestic hill, running as fast as I can, and I come to a cliff and I take a huge leap and I jump. And when I jump, instead of falling to the ground like I would normally would expect to, what I'd expect to happen because of like gravity, but I would just ascend into the sky and I would continue to just rise above and basically continue to fly instead of falling, which was weird. And I've had that dream many times. Sometimes because it became repetitive, I try to intune myself with my dream world, and basically what happened is it wasn't that I could like control where I could fly or control like the exact proximities as to where I am, but I could be in tuned with that feeling and notion of being able to fly. I pretty much was flying in that moment. I don't know what that is. Am I tapping into anything? Am I and that's the thing. I try to be critical and I try to come back, and in the morning I would definitely ask myself questions, because you don't want to get carried away with these things. It's healthy to be intrigued and inquisitive, but it's also healthy to be critical and skeptical of things, because I'd like to call my own bullshit out and I'd like to be able to call other people's bullshit out. That's why and that's the thing that I was able to do, you know what I mean? Other things that I've tried I've put like little tiny objects, like a little paper clip or what have you, on a piece of paper and try to move that with my mind. Did not happen. I don't think I can do it, or maybe, who knows, maybe one day we can do these things. Maybe even I can do it, maybe somebody else out there can do it. Maybe it's a matter of concentration and focusing your energy on something. Maybe we won't be able to move certain things with our mind. Maybe we already have been moving certain things with our mind, because constantly, if you think about it, everything is formed from our thoughts. So if we think about it to a certain degree, we are materializing it and manifesting it. So what is that to say about words, thoughts, and the power of the mind?